What's up, y'all? It's Life Aspects with Visionary Rose. Grace and love to everyone. Listen, they can't destroy you anymore. They cannot destroy you anymore. Listen, everything that they sent your way to destroy you is already been sent back to the sender. Let me tell you this. See, what they didn't know is, in the midst of them doing all of their wicked stuff, they didn't understand why they were talking and doing all of their spell work and all of that stuff, talking to the demons, because that's exactly who they were talking to. They didn't know. They were wondering, where is your God? When was he going to come through for you? Little did they know that he was already there the whole time. He was even there watching them while they were doing their rituals. He was watching them while they were doing their bonding spells. He was watching them while they were doing all of that wicked stuff. He was watching them when they were paying the witches and the warlocks to do stuff. He was watching them while they were paying people to monitor you. He was watching them while they were paying people to stalk you. He was watching them while they were coming up against you. He was watching them while they were sending people to destroy you. He was watching all of that. So you ask, where is God now? They ask, where's your God? You're wondering, when is justice going to come in? When is vindication going to come in? All of that stuff. But God is already vindicating you. Even in the midst of all of that stuff, he was already vindicating you. And you have to realize something. What God will allow is, let me tell you this. God has already warned those people before they already had did it. He already warned them, like, don't mess with him. Don't mess with her. Like, he's already warned them. And so they decided not to listen, maybe because of their ego, maybe because of their pride. You know, people don't believe in God, so they're going to do whatever they can. But God has already warned them. Because let me tell you something. My daddy always told me that the Holy Spirit will come and it will tell you something when you're about to do something wrong that you know you're not supposed to do. And in that moment, if you do it, it's going to leave like that. And that was one of the things that my daddy had told me, and I would never forget that. I always keep that in mind of what he said. But listen. They never knew. They never knew. They never knew. And everything that they sent out to destroy you. See, why do you think that when people pray and they say, you know, God, any witches, warlocks, or any demons or devils that try to, or any spirit, hexes or spells that try to come up against me, God, we send it back to the sender. We send it back to the sender. So if they're sending out spells to take you out because they can't do it for you, because let me tell you something, a lot of people use black magic to do their dirty work. So they're sending out suicidal spells for you to take your own self out. We send it back to sender. Now they have a suicidal spell on them. Now they feel like they want to take themselves out. They're sending you destruction for your mental. We send it back to the sender, and now they're dealing with calamity in their mind. They're dealing with destruction in their mind. They're sending out stuff to get you off track, to knock you off of your spiritual journey. Send it back to sender. Now something is knocking them off their spiritual journey. See, they don't understand how this black magic and all of this stuff work, but they're too busy trying to be invested into it, not knowing the things that come behind it. All the wicked stuff that they're doing. They think that they're so intelligent with it, not even knowing that they're talking to demons. You're not talking to God, because God is not even in the midst of all of that. You're doing rituals to try to take somebody out. You're doing binding spells to try to mess up people's finances. You're doing binding spells to try to set people back. You're doing binding spells to try to keep them in the pit. But the same pit that they throwed you in is now the same pit that they're in. But it's just a little bit deeper. It's just a little bit deeper. You got to realize something. See, they can't destroy you anymore. They can't destroy you anymore because everything that they sent has been backfired. And it's going to forever backfire. It's going to forever backfire. Anything that they send your way is going to forever backfire. That's why you have to stay prayed up. That's why you have to stay encouraged. And that's why you have to rebuke the enemy and anything like that. And also, those witches and devils and demons and warlocks that want to come and try to take your energy away, you got to be careful of those too, because they don't want anything. They just want to steal your energy, because they don't have any energy for them. They haven't put in the work to gain the positive energy. They haven't put in any work, so they feel like they don't want to put in the work. It's too much work for them to do. They don't want to do it. They don't want to take the time to heal. They don't want to take the time to recover and figure out who they are. So all the work that they do trying to destroy somebody, why don't they use all of that energy to make themselves a better person? Why? Because it's too much work. It's too much accountability. That's what it is all around. It's too much accountability for them to take. Because one thing about a change is you got to start with yourself and you got to take accountability. But for narcissists, it's too much work for them. They don't want to never take accountability, and it's never your fault. It's never their fault. It's always your fault. Always remember that. And manipulation is always going to be a form of witchcraft. Manipulation will always be a form of witchcraft. When you're speaking down on people, when you're talking down on them, that is a form of witchcraft. When you're saying this person would never do this person would never make it, this person with this person with that, you're now speaking ill over their life, not even knowing that you're speaking ill about your own life, because everything that you said will always backfire onto you. Anything that you sent out evil against someone is going to be sent back to you. And then you're wondering why the spells and why all of this stuff that you sent to this person, why it's not hitting, baby, because it's done got sent back to the sender. It's done already got sent back to the sender. It's already got sent back to the sender. I told y'all before. I told y'all this before. God has already warned these people. Vindication is coming. And let me tell you something. See, when they come up against you, and let me tell you something, if they need a whole army to come up against one person, baby, you was too powerful for them. You need a whole army to come up against one person. Let me tell you something. I've watched people in my life, I watch these particular people in my life get slandered, get talked about, get ridiculed, get all of that stuff. People were coming up against them and everything. But I watched God give them justice right in front of the same people that slandered their name. And that's what God will do for you. He will give you justice. He will vindicate you. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you how God works, baby. Let me tell you how God works. You talking to somebody whose name being slandered. You're listening to someone, you're listening to someone whose name being slandered. You listening to someone who's been laughed at, who's been joked at, who's been ridiculed, who's been talked about. And that's fine. That's fine, because I'm glad God allowed all that stuff to happen. I'm glad God allowed me to go through all of this stuff, because he put a fire up against me to push even harder right in front of my enemies. He made my enemies my footstool. And everything that they said, everything that they did, I'm telling you, baby, he sent vindication. He sent justice. He sent it right that way. Because let me tell you what God would do, baby. Let me tell you exactly what God would do. See, I told you that they need an army to come up against you. And if they need an army to come up against you, baby, you too powerful, baby. But let me tell you something. They don't win, because when they gather, they will surely scatter. Okay, so if they sin, it takes one person. So if this takes one person to put the bug in this person's ear, and then it goes like that. But this is what God would do. This person would be like, okay, that's not that. I met this person. That's not what I seen. That's not what I do. But then that's not what that person does. Like, when I met this person, I got a totally different, outlook on this person versus what you are saying. And so what will happen is that people will begin to get smart. They will begin to see, okay, this person is lying. This person is just telling a bunch of fibs. This person just keeps saying the same thing. And they're going to anybody who will just listen. And see, what will happen is, when they see that you're getting vindication and justice, they gotta clean up their dirt. Too late now. Too late to be trying to clean up all your mess that you done did. Because it's like when you tell a lie on somebody, now you got to tell another lie and another lie to cover up all the other lies. And then now we're wondering, okay, so what really happened? We're wondering what really happened. Nothing never happened, baby. Nothing never happened. They were just lying all along. They just needed something to come against you at. See, one thing about it is that when people see that you're strong, people want to try to play on you. People want to try to bring you down. And see, when they don't have confidence in themselves, when they're insecure about themselves, when they don't love themselves, when they don't have that motivation, they don't have that eager for success, when they don't have that determination, when they don't have all of those positive things inside, their goal is to try to knock you down, to elevate themselves, to make themselves feel powerful, to make themselves feel powerful, to make themselves feel more. That's what they do. They will come up against you. They will try to bring you down in the deepest way. They will try to make you feel low. But let me tell you something. See, that's why you gotta keep it. You gotta keep your eyes open. You have to keep your eyes open, because this is what people would do. They will try to bring you down to uplift themselves, because they do not love themselves. They do not love themselves. And so it makes them feel good by coming against you. It makes them feel good by putting a bug in this person's ear to make other people look at you differently. But let me tell you something. God will send vindication. He will send it for you. And he will be like, okay, He will have other people look at you differently and have those people, the same people that they told lies about you, have them looking at this person like, what's going on? And now this person is trying to clear it up. It's a little bit too late. It's a little bit too late. And see, God has already warned these people, but they choose not to listen. And see, when everything has got sent back to the sender, now you're sitting in the same stuff that you had already sent to this person. One thing about God is he don't play, and he watches everything. He sits high, he looks low. And you can't run. You can't run. Where you gonna go, baby? He already done saw it. No matter if that person that you sending it to, they didn't see it. God saw it. They can't destroy you no more. You got to stay prayed up. Keep your focus. Keep the determination. Keep the motivation. And understand who you are throughout the process, because they can't destroy you anymore. I'm telling you guys, if God vindicated and sent justice for the very people that I said, when I said that story, I watched these particular people in my life get slandered and all that stuff. If God can do it for them, he most definitely can do it for you, and he will make your enemies your footstool. He will. I love you guys, and I hope you guys took something from this video. Thank you guys for rocking with Life Aspects with Visionary Rose.